Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome, and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now, before we get into the show, first off, man, if you haven't done this already, man, what are you waiting for, man? Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you're the first ones to know when my next video will come out because I'm here each and every single week. So make sure you hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. Hit the thumbs up. And if you're new here, hit the subscribe button. And then next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. You click on that bell. And when you click on that bell, you'll be the first ones to know when my next video is uploaded. And one last thing. Don't forget to be awesome. So yeah, don't forget to be awesome. And yeah, man, sit back, chillax, grab something to eat, grab something to drink because you're watching the Ryan Awesome Show. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome, and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now today on the Ryan Awesome Show, we'll be talking about Impact Wrestling for September the 30th, 2021. So yeah, man, overall show, man, it was fine. It was fine for what it was. You know, as far as the matches goes, I did enjoy the triple threat match, triple threat X Division #1 contenders match. Really good match to start off the show. And you know, other than that, man, tonight's show with the matches, tonight's show with the matches and all that stuff, just felt like rematches, man. Felt like rematches. The main event was a rematch that we saw. Even though it was a great match, it was still a rematch. It was still a rematch. And the knockouts tag team match was a rematch. So that's just about the only problem I had on the show was a lot of rematches. But yeah, man. But yeah, overall show it was fine. It was fine for what it was. It wasn't bad, you know. Wasn't their best show, but it was fine. It was decent. It was decent for what it was. And so yeah, man. So that pretty much what happened on the show tonight, man. And yeah, man. So yeah, so this is the Impact Wrestling review on the Ryan Awesome Show for September the 30th, 2021. And yeah, man, I say this all the time in the intro, man. If you haven't done this already, man, hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, if you're watching the Ryan Awesome Show for the first time ever, hit that subscribe button. And then right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you're the first ones to know when my next video is uploaded because I'm here every single week, man. Wednesdays for AEW Dynamite. Thursdays, of course, for Impact Wrestling. Fridays for AEW Rampage. And Saturdays and Sundays are for the pay-per-views, man. Whether it's WWE pay-per-views, AEW pay-per-views, or Impact Wrestling pay-per-views, I'm here. And so, yeah, man. So we started off the show, man, with the Triple Threat X Division #1 Contenders tournament match. So, yeah, man. So it was Laredo Kid versus Alex Zayne, the former Ari Sterling, versus Trey Miguel, man. So, yeah, really good match, man. Really good match. And, yeah, I was going with Trey Miguel to win this match, and he won the match. And so, yeah, man. So, first off, man, we had a double Rana to Trey and Zayne from Laredo Kid. And then everyone, they were started using their athleticism against each other. And so we had an X Division chant from their crowd. And then at one point, man, we had Laredo Kid. He had a shooting star press senton bomb to Trey and Zayne. And so, yeah, man, we had a Hurricane Rana to Laredo Kid from Trey Miguel over the top rope on the floor. So that was really nice. And so, yeah, man. And so Zayne, he had an outside moonsault to Trey and Laredo Kid. And then Zayne, he had took out Trey and Laredo Kid by himself. And then Trey hit a 619 to Zayne. And then Trey locked in a Muda lock to Zayne. and then Trey he had took out Laredo Kid while he still had Zayne locked in a Muda lock, so that was really nice. And so yeah, man. So Trey Miguel he still had the Muda lock locked on, and you had Laredo Kid, man. You had the Laredo Kid. He had a 450 splash. He had a 450 splash on both of these guys, while Trey Miguel had the Muda lock still locked on. So that was really nice, man. That 450 splash, really nice. And so yeah, man. So we had a top rope Hurricanrana to Trey Miguel from Laredo Kid. It kind of like it was, yeah, kind of like a springboard Hurricanrana. So that was really nice too, man. And so yeah, man, we had a power bomb, man, power bomb to Laredo Kid from Zayne, and then we had a double foot stomp to Zayne from Trey, and then yeah, we had a top rope cutter to Trey from Laredo Kid, and yeah, and right off of the move, man, Trey Miguel he took the cutter, and so he landed right on top of Zayne, so it looked like he hit him with a splash, and so yeah, man, so yeah, Zayne he had hit a move on the Laredo Kid, and so Trey he took out Zayne with a knee strike, and so yeah, to end the match, man, we had Trey Miguel hit a diving meteora to Laredo Kid to win the match. So Trey Miguel wins the match and will be going on to Bound for Glory to compete for that vacated X Division Championship. So yeah, man, really good match, man, to start off the show, man. Really good match. And the right person did win this match, man. The right person won this match, and Trey Miguel. And yeah, because Trey Miguel, man, he's been there far longer. He's been there longer, and just look how they booked him, man. Just look how they booked him. You remember the feud that he had with Sami Callihan, man, when they talked about passion and all that stuff. That Trey Miguel has no passion and all that stuff, and it fired up Trey Miguel. It brought the best. That feud brought the best out of Trey Miguel, and he ended up beating Sami Callihan. And so yeah, and I said it a while ago. I was like, man, he should be going after a championship. He should be going after a championship, whether it's the X Division Championship or the World Championship. And look at him now, man, going after the X Division Championship, possibly gonna win the championship. That's what I would do. I would give him the championship, man. I would give him the championship. Like first off, man, you split. Well, first off, Wes Lee and Nash Carter they went to WWE. They were with Trey Miguel as part of the Rascals in TNA or Impact Wrestling, and they left Trey Miguel alone. So Trey Miguel was alone, and yeah, and he had a singles run. He's going through a singles run right now. So yeah, the right time, man. Him like putting the X Division Championship on Trey Miguel is the right move. Yeah, and just like what I said before, man, that Sami Callihan feud brought the best out of Trey Miguel, man. It really did, and so that's why he deserves the X Division Championship match. He deserves the X Division title. He will win that championship at Bound for Glory. He will win the championship. And so yeah, man. So that was pretty much it with that. Really good match. And so right after that, man, we had a vignette from Matthew Rehwoldt. So he spoke. He talked about Laredo Kid, and he was impressed with Laredo's Kid in-ring work. And yeah, he wants a match. Possibly wants a match with Laredo Kid. And so yeah, whenever that match would be, I don't know. But soon we will be getting Laredo Kid versus Matthew Rehwoldt. And so yeah, man. So right after that, man, they showed a video of Sami Callihan. He got stretchered out of the building because he was attacked by Moose. He was attacked by Moose and W. Morrissey. And so yeah, it looked like he had like an ankle injury or something like that. And so yeah, and so because of the attack, Moose he was banned from ringside in the main event. And then the main event was W. Morrissey versus Eddie Edwards in the street fight. And so yeah, man. So of course, yeah, we didn't see the attack from earlier, but they said that Moose and W. Morrissey had attacked Sami Callihan. And I believe Sami Callihan, I believe he's actually injured. I believe he's actually injured. So they did this angle to write him off of TV. So yeah, Sami Callihan is really hurt. So speedy recovery for Sami Callihan. And so yeah, man. And so right after that, man, Eddie Edwards, he was backstage. He spoke about the main event that he has with W. Morrissey tonight, later on tonight in the main event. And so yeah, he said that tonight's match, it ends, man. It ends once and for all. It will end once and for all. And so Edwards, he said right after Moose, or right after Eddie Edwards, or right after W. Morrissey, Moose, you're next. I haven't forgotten about you. You're next. And so yeah, so that was pretty much it with that. And so yeah, man. So right after that, man, we had the number one contenders Impact Knockouts Tag Team Championship match, and it was the Influence. That's Tenille Dashwood and Madison Rayne with Kaleb with a K in their corner versus Jordynne Grace and Rachael Ellering. So yeah, man, rematch, man. This is a rematch. And so yeah, man. So we had Ellering and Dashwood. They're going back and forth, and then Rayne took out Grace from behind, and then we had an assisted senton bomb to Grace, or to Dashwood rather, from Grace. And then the baby faces they took control of the match, and then we had a running corner crossbody to Grace from Dashwood. We had a hot tag to Ellering. She took out Dashwood and Rayne by herself. And so yeah, man, Ellering hit a TKO on Dashwood, followed up by a spine buster to Madison Rayne, and then she kicked out of that. And then Jordynne Grace hit a Vader bomb on Rayne, but Kaleb had put Madison Rayne's foot on a rope, so Kaleb got involved in the match. And then Madison Rayne, she had a rolling cutter to Grace, and then Tenille Dashwood hit the spotlight, and Ellering had broke up the pin. And so yeah, man. And then we had a fisherman suplex to Rayne. And so yeah, so at that point we had a lot of outside interferences, and so referee got distracted by all that. And so to end the match, man, we had a double face buster to Ellering from Dashwood and Rayne to win the match. And that was it, man. That was it. So the Influence wins the match and will face Havoc and Rosemary at the Knockouts Knockdown pay-per-view. That's on October the 5th, I believe it is, or October the 9th. No, October the 9th. So October the 9th. And so yeah, for the Impact Knockouts Tag Team Championships. And so yeah, man, pretty much knew that Dashwood and Madison Rayne was gonna win the match because Jordynne Grace and Rachael Ellering, how many times they've been going after the tag team titles, so they had to give it to somebody else that's new. So yeah, they probably will win the titles. That's what I would do. I'll give them the titles. But yeah, because Havoc and Rosemary, they're not doing anything with the titles. So and then yeah, you've been pushing Tenille Dashwood and Madison Rayne as this new tag team. So it probably will be the right move to put the titles on them. But yeah, that was pretty much it with that. But yeah, so right after that, man, we had Gia Miller. She interviews Christopher Daniels. So yeah, so Gia Miller, she had asked Christopher Daniels like, what brought you back to Impact? And so Daniels, he has said that he wants to try out the Forbidden Door. And so yeah, Daniels, he has said that you don't need to break down the Forbidden Door to a door that you already built. And so Josh Alexander, he interrupted the interview, and he apologized for interrupting the interview. And so he welcomed Daniels to Impact Wrestling. He said it's great to see you in Impact Wrestling. And so Christian Cage, he had interrupted, and he got in Josh Alexander's face. And he told Josh Alexander like, listen, man, I didn't come out there to help you because we're Canadian and we're boys and all that stuff. I came out there to help you because I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear no excuses. I don't want to hear it on why you lost to me. So that's what I did. What I did. And so Cage, he had told Alexander to keep his emotions in check. Like if you want to be the guy, in Impact Wrestling, you got to keep your emotions in check. And so yeah, that was pretty much it with that. And so of course it's gonna be Josh Alexander versus Christian Cage at Bound for Glory for the Impact World Championship. And so yeah, man. So yeah, so that was pretty much it with that. And so right after that, man, we had Brian Myers, the How to Be a Professional Chapter 41. So they talking about physical fitness. Are they working on physical fitness? So getting their body in shape. And so yeah, so the learning tree, they were doing push-ups and all that stuff. They were doing push-ups. And then yeah, and VSK, he finished his push-ups earlier, but the learning tree didn't know. And so Brian Myers had to explain to him that VSK finished his push-ups early. And so yeah, and then the rest of the learning tree, they feel that Brian Myers is showing favoritism to VSK and all that stuff. And so Myers, he said, like, dude, VSK, he is above all of you. He's above all of y'all. And I've trained him from scratch. And everything that he's learned is all in his head. And so yeah, man. And so Myers, he had blamed the rest of the learning tree. He blamed the rest of the learning tree for costing him and VSK the tag team match that they had last week. And yeah, that was pretty much it. That was pretty much it with that. And they left. Well, Brian Myers left. Brian Myers left, and VSK left to go get some steaks. And Sam Bill had told the other two members of the learning tree to take notes. And when it was really Sam Bill that cost him the loss. But yeah, that was pretty much it with that. And so yeah, so right after that, man, we had a vignette from the Good Brothers. That's Doc Gallows and Karl Anderson, who are the Impact World Tag Team Champions. And so they spoke. They were still on vacation, and so they talked about the tag teams of Impact Wrestling and all the teams that they beaten. So pretty much the same promo from last week. And so yeah, man. So they made a number one contenders match for the Bullet Club versus FinJuice. So whoever wins the number one contenders match between Bullet Club and FinJuice, they will go up against the Good Brothers for the Impact World Tag Team Championships at Mount for Glory. So yeah, man. I'm going with the Bullet Club, man. I'm going with the Bullet Club. Because we seen FinJuice. We seen FinJuice versus the Good Brothers already. And now with the Bullet Club, we can see the Bullet Club versus the Elite. Like it's gonna start from Impact and it's gonna bleed into AEW. But yeah, man, Bullet Club is gonna win. Bullet Club is gonna win that number one contender spot and go after the Good Brothers, who are part of the Elite. You know, even though it's a heel versus heel match, still is the right move. Still is the right move. But yeah, man, so that was pretty much it with that. And so right after that, we had the virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo, who is the Impact Knockouts champion and the Triple A Women's champion, or I don't know the name of the Triple A Women's Championship, but yeah, she's the Women's Championship of Triple A, or the Women's Champion of Triple A. And so yeah, so she was driving and she drove to Mickie James's house, and so she attacked her in the farm and all that stuff, and they were both fighting, and then James started fighting back. And yeah, so they were both going back and forth, and then Purrazzo had grabbed the rope and she started choking Mickie James with the choke, choking Mickie James with the rope, choking Mickie James with the choke. Really? She started choking Mickie James with the rope. And then at one point, Deonna Purrazzo had a pitchfork and she tried to hit Mickie James with the pitchfork, but she moved out of the way. And so yeah, man. And so James had grabbed a hose and she started spraying Deonna Purrazzo with the hose and all that stuff. And then Purrazzo, she tried to drown. She tried to drown Mickie James in a bucket of water. And so yeah, she kept putting her head in a bucket of water trying to drown her. And so yeah, so that was pretty much it. So kind of like it was like a cinematic match. That's what it was, but only in a short form. But yeah, that was it, man. It was good. But yeah, man, I cannot wait for the match, man. I cannot wait for the match. And Bound for Glory should be really good. And so yeah, man. So that was pretty much it with that. And so right after that, man, we had FinJuice as David Finlay and Juice Robinson. So they were backstage. They spoke about being outnumbered by the Bullet Club. And so FinJuice, they said, we have backup. We have backup, and that backup is Chris Sabin. And so Sabin, he said that he hates the Bullet Club, and he'll love to take out the Bullet Club. And so that was it with that. And so they made it into a 6-man tag team match next week. All 3 members of the Bullet Club. Well, there are a lot of members of the Bullet Club, but 3 members of the Bullet Club. That's gonna be Hikuleo, El Phantasmo, and Chris Bay versus FinJuice and Chris Sabin. And so yeah, man. So right after that, man, we had Madman Fulton with Ace Austin in his corner versus Christopher Daniels. And so yeah, so this is Christopher Daniels' first match back in Impact Wrestling. And so we had the welcome back chants from the crowd to Christopher Daniels. And then yeah, man, Fulton, he started using his power against Daniels. And then Daniels started to fight back, hit a sitting springboard moonsault to Fulton on the outside. And then yeah, Fulton had caught him with a big boot, followed up by a running splash. And then Fulton, that's when he took control of the match. He had a diving crossbody to Daniels, and then a DDT. So Fulton tried to go for a move, and then Daniels countered with a DDT. And so yeah, Daniels went for an STO, and Fulton fell backwards, but he landed on his leg awkwardly. He landed on his leg awkwardly. And so yeah, man, Austin, he took out Daniels at one point behind the referee's back. And so Josh Alexander saw this. So Josh Alexander was in the back and he saw it. And he came out and he took out Ace Austin. And so yeah, man. And then Daniels, he hit the Angel's Wings. He hit the Angel's Wings on Fulton. And then Fulton kicked out at 1. And then and then we had a diving flat onto the Fulton. And then to end the match, man, we had our best moonsault ever, the BME to Fulton to win the match. And so at that point, I was like, he kicked out at 1. He kicked out at 1 at the Angels Wings. He kicked out of the Angels Wings at 1, and he couldn't kick out. He couldn't kick out of a moonsault. I understand the moonsault is his finisher and all that stuff, but the moonsault is a common move. It's a common move, and he kicked out of the Angels Wings, which is his actual finisher move. His actual finishing move is the Angels Wings, and he kicked out at 1. And he kicked out. Like he didn't even kick out of a moonsault. I don't know, man. Strange, man. Strange. You kick it out of the Angel's Wings, but didn't kick out of a moonsault. Yeah, man. That was it, man. It was a good match, but yeah, that was weird, man. Really weird. But yeah, man. So right after that, man, we had the Swingers Palace. So yeah, Scott DeMar, he came in the Swingers Palace and he was talking to Johnny Swinger, and Scott DeMar, he shut down the Swingers Palace because Johnny Swinger, he doesn't have a license to run the Swingers Palace. So Scott DeMar, he shut down the Swingers Palace, and so that was it. And so right after that, man, we had Ace Austin and Madman Fulton. They were backstage and they were upset at what happened earlier tonight in that Madman Fulton and Christopher Daniels match, and Josh Alexander getting involved and all that stuff. And so they went to go see Scott DeMar. And so and then Scott, he made a tag team match for next week. Is going to be Ace Austin and Madman Fulton versus Christian Cage, the Impact World Champion, and Josh Alexander next week. So it's a tag team match. And so yeah, man. So right after that, man, we have Violent by Design. Violent by Design. So that's Eric Young, Diener, and Joe Doering. So they came out to the ring. Eric Young, of course, he spoke. And so Young, so Young, he started blaming Rhino for letting the sickness in. And so Young, he had said, either Rhino, you're either with us or against us. And so Rhino, he came out to the ring. They called him out to the ring. Rhino came out to the ring. And so the crowd started chanting gore, gore, gore. And so, yeah, Young, he had asked Rhino, like, what's it going to be, man? What's it going to be? Yeah, like, you need to make a decision, and the decision needs to happen now. You need to make a decision now. And so, yeah, man. And so, yeah, so Young, he wants Rhino to do the right thing and apologize or side with them. And so, yeah, so we heard some music play, and it was Heath Slater. He came in, or he came in. So Heath Slater is back in Impact Wrestling. So Heath Slater, of course, is a former tag team partner of Rhino, and they were the first ever SmackDown Tag Team Champions. But yeah, man. So yeah, so he took out Violent by Design. He even took out Joe Doering. So he even took out Joe Doering. And so yeah, man. So Rhino, he stood in the corner. He was watching all this stuff happen. And so yeah, man. So Heath and Rhino, they stared face to face. And yeah, man. And that was it. They stood face to face, and Rhino, he just left the ring. He left the ring and he went through the crowd. He didn't go to Violent by Design. He didn't align himself with Heath Slater. He just left through the crowd, and that was it. So yeah, he never chose the side. Never chose the side. And yeah, what he's gonna do? Me, from the start, I said that it was a bad decision to let him go from Violent by Design. I thought he was great in Violent by Design. Don't know why they took him away from Violent by Design. Thought he was a great addition to the group. Thought he made the group stronger, man. Really did. But they took him away from it. They took him away from Violent by Design. And so yeah, man. Now if he aligns himself with Heath Slater, then they could go after those tag team titles, man, because they need some tag teams in Impact. They really do, man. But yeah, man. Yeah, if you want to turn him into a babyface, man, just align him with Heath. Align him with Heath so they can go after those tag team titles. But yeah, that's what I would do, man. And so right after that, man, we had an announcement. So we're having a new championship coming in Impact Wrestling. It's called the Digital Media Championship. And it's going to be a tournament. It's going to be a tournament, and the tournament starts on October the 5th. And so there will be men and women competing in that tournament. So it's an intergender championship. And so yeah, man, and the first ever champion will be crowned at Bound for Glory. So yeah, man. And I think the tournament is gonna happen on Impact Plus too. Impact Plus, and then on YouTube. But yeah, man. Will they treat this championship as a legit championship? If not, I don't even much want to see it on TV. I really don't. But I'm pretty sure they'll treat it as a legit championship. Like don't have it be like the 24/7 championship. Nobody do not want to see this stuff. Nobody cares about the 24/7 championship. But yeah, if it's anything like the 24/7 championship, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it on TV. Like I don't want to see it. But if it's treated like a legit championship, then go ahead and introduce it. But I don't think they need any more championships in Impact. They have enough championships. You have the World Championship, you have the X Division Championship, and you have the Women's Championship, the Knockouts Championship, and the Knockouts Tag Team Championships. I think they should get rid of the Knockouts Tag Team Championships. They should get rid of the Knockouts Tag Team Championships and just keep the Knockouts Women's Championship, or just the Knockouts Championship. So yeah, just have it, just have that championship. Since men and women can compete for the championship, I guess. If they can't go after the Knockouts Championship, then they could probably go after the Digital Media Championship. I don't know, man. I'm just coming up with ideas, man. I'm just pulling stuff out of the air. But yeah, that was pretty much it with that. And so before we get into the main event, man, let's talk about next week's show. And so yeah, man. So next week's show, we have. So yeah, man. So of course we had the introduction of the Digital Media Championship. So yeah, our first match is gonna be John Skyler versus Zicky Dice, who is part of the Learning Tree, Brian Myers Learning Tree. So yeah, it's gonna be in the tournament. Tournament is on October the 5th, and then also for that tournament we have another match, Hernandez versus Crazy Steve, a Decay. So yeah, and then also next week Heath Slater or Heath, and like man, he is Heath Slater, man. He is Heath Slater to me. But yeah, Heath, you gotta come up with a last name. Like it's gonna be like it feels weird just calling him Heath. Heath, like Heath who? But yeah, Heath he will address the Impact Zone, and then yeah we have another triple threat match. So yeah, X Division title tournament match, triple threat match. So whoever wins this match will be going up against Trey Miguel for the X Division championship. And so yeah, man. So it's gonna be Black Taurus versus not Crazy Steve. Black Taurus versus Steve Macklin versus Petey Williams, man. Oh, I don't know about this one. Maybe. If I had to pick, probably Steve Macklin, man. Probably going with Steve Macklin. Steve Macklin versus a Trey Miguel, and have Trey Miguel beat Steve Macklin and have him lose in his first match. Yeah, yeah. They probably might go with Steve Macklin, or they might go with Petey Williams, or maybe Black Taurus. But yeah, and also we have a 6-man tag team match or a trios match, whatever you want to call it, and it's the Bullet Club. So that's Hikuleu, El Phantasmo, and Chris Bay versus FinJuice and Chris Sabin. So we have David Finlay, Juice Robinson, and Chris Sabin. And so yeah, so that's next week. And also we have a tag team match. It's gonna be Ace Austin and Madman Fulton versus Josh Alexander and Christian Cage, who is the Impact World Champion. So that's next week. And so yeah, man. So that's it for next week's show. So yeah, so now we have the street fight. Yeah, the street fight, and that's the main event, the street fight. And it's W. Morrissey versus Eddie Edwards. So, yeah, Moose, he was banned from ringside, as I mentioned earlier. And yeah, like why? Like in a street fight, like why would anybody be banned from ringside in a street fight when it's no rules? Like when anything goes, no rules, no disqualification. Why are you banning people from ringside? Like you could do whatever you want in a no disqualification match. You could do whatever you want. Like what are they gonna do? Disqualify W. Morrissey for having Moose out there? Like like dude, you can't get disqualified in a no disqualification match. But yeah, man. But yeah, so both of these guys they went right after each other, man. And then we had wet floor signs all around the place. And then Morrissey hit Edwards with the wet floor sign, hit him over the head hard with it, man. And so yeah, Tope suicided to Morrissey, and then Edwards he hit Morrissey with a fans replica TNA championship belt. And then yeah, Morrissey he threw Edwards into the steel steps at one point. and then the crowd started chanting for Eddie to get back into the match. And then Edwards tripped up Morrissey into the steel steps, and then so crowd once again cheering for Eddie Edwards. And so yeah, man. So we had a choke slam to Edwards on the steel steps, and so yeah, we also had trash can lids too. And Morrissey started hitting Edwards with the trash can lids over the head. And so yeah, man. And we had a trash can lid to Morrissey. So Eddie Edwards had hit W Morrissey with the trash can lid. And so yeah, man, we had a Blue Thunder bomb to Morrissey. And so at one point, Eddie Edwards, he pulled out a barbed wire chair from under the ring. And so Morrissey caught him with a big boot. And then we had chair shots to Edwards. And then yeah, man, we had an elbow drop to Edwards on the chair. So yeah, man. And then Morrissey, he set up 4 chairs in the middle of the ring. Not in the middle of the ring, but in the ring, in the corner. And so yeah, so he sat him up to try to superplex Eddie Edwards on those 4 chairs. But we had Alicia Edwards, so Eddie Edwards' wife, came out and hit Morrissey with a kendo stick over and over and over again. And so yeah, man. And so Eddie Edwards, he powerbombed Morrissey on those chairs that Morrissey had set up. And so yeah, man. So Eddie Edwards, he tried to go for the Boston knee party. And so Alicia Edwards had stepped in Eddie Edwards' way. I was like, man, what is she doing? And so yeah, she grabbed the chair, the barbed wire chair that he pulled out. And so Alicia Edwards had put the barbed wire chair in W Morrissey's face. And then Eddie Edwards hit the Boston knee party to Morrissey on the barbed wire chair for the win. So Eddie Edwards wins the match. And so right after the match, Moose had came out and he attacked Eddie Edwards. And so Moose, he speared Eddie Edwards through a table that was in the corner of the ring. And yeah, Morrissey. So Alicia Edwards, she tried to fight back. I don't know why. Alicia Edwards, her small stature, tried to fight Moose and W Morrissey, 2 big guys. No. So yeah, they held her back. They held Alicia back. And so yeah, man. Yeah, she had jumped on Moose's back, and so Moose had just threw her off his back, like knocked her on the ground. And so yeah, man. So Morrissey. So yeah, first off, man, Moose, he had Pillmanized Eddie Edwards' head and neck area with the chair. And so yeah, man, he started hitting Eddie Edwards with the chair on the Pillmanized chair over and over and over and over and over again. Like he kept hitting the chair shots, kept hitting the chair over and over and over again over Eddie Edwards' head. And so yeah, and Morrissey, he forced Alicia Edwards to watch it. Like he forced her to watch her husband getting beat to a pulp. And so yeah, man, so that was pretty much it with that, man. That was pretty much it. And yeah, man, good match, man. Good match, but it's still a rematch, man. Still rematches. And how many times have they fought? How many times did they fought? They fought at that one pay-per-view. They fought at that one pay-per-view and Morrissey won. And then they had a rematch and then Edwards won. Yeah, man. I think Eddie Edwards right now, I think he has more wins over Morrissey. I think right now he has more wins over Morrissey. Like he does, man. So yeah. But yep. So yeah, next is Eddie Edwards. I guess he's gonna be out for a little bit. He's gonna be out for a little bit, and he's gonna come back and he's gonna go after Moose. He's gonna go after Moose, and yeah. And right after Moose, what's next for Eddie Edwards? And what's next for Moose? You know, will Moose go after the world championship? Will they both go after the world championship or vie after the world championship? I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, man. So that was pretty much it with the show, man. That was pretty much it with the show. You know, it was okay, fine. It was fine for what it was, man. You know, we seen a lot of rematches, man. Not a lot of rematches, but mostly rematches on the show. Rematches, and yeah, Triple Threat X Division title contenders match or tournament match was my match of the night. Was the match of the night for me. But yeah, man. It was decent. Show was decent. And yeah, man. And of course, they building up to Bound for Glory, so I can't wait for Bound for Glory, man. We have AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Triple A, and Impact. Impact, AEW, Triple A, and New Japan in Vegas, man. October the 23rd in Vegas. So yeah, man. So it's gonna be the first time that Impact moved out of the studio that they're in right now. So it'll be the first time they move out. So that'll be really good, man. So yeah, I can't wait for Bound for Glory, man. Cannot wait. So yeah, man. So that was it with the review, the Impact Wrestling review for September the 30th, 2021 on The Ryan Awesome Show. And yeah, man, if you like this video, man, hit the thumbs up, man. Hit the thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, if you're watching The Ryan Awesome Show for the first time ever, hit that subscribe button. And then right next to it, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you're the first ones to know when my next video is uploaded, because I'm here every single week. Wednesdays for AEW Dynamite, Thursdays for Impact Wrestling, Friday for AEW Rampage, Saturdays and Sundays for pay-per-views, man. WWE pay-per-views, AEW pay-per-views, Impact Wrestling pay-per-views. And yeah, man, follow me on Twitter, man, at Ryan Awesome Show. And yeah, man, I'll see you guys on Friday. I'll see you guys on Friday for AEW Rampage. And yeah, man, see you guys then. And if you missed my last week's review of Impact Wrestling, the video is going to be right up here in this corner. The video is going to be right up here in this corner, and the link to that video will be down below in the description. So make sure you either click up here or click down below. And yeah, man, and share this video, man. Share this video with each and every single person that you come across on a day-to-day basis. And yeah, man, once again, guys, thank you for the support, love, and the support for the show. Thank you, thank you, and thank you. And yeah, man, and once again, I'll see you guys on Friday for AEW Rampage. And yeah, man, and this has been The Ryan Awesome Show. Take care, stay safe, and don't forget to be awesome. And that's that.